Thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com, home of technical analysis education in both the stock market and cryptocurrency worlds. See the links in the description of this video for more information on our two courses, Entries and Exits on the Fundamentals of Technical Analysis, as well as our new course on Trading Cryptocurrency Strategy. Purchase both and receive a 20% off bundle discount. Thanks for checking us out. Let's get on to the technical analysis. Hello everyone, I'm currently away from home for the night without my microphone, so I figure poor audio is better than no video, so bear with me. We're going to be looking at the big three here as usual. In the last video I pointed out a couple things, the first being a 4-hour potential bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern that we're still keeping an eye on, and the second was the equilibrium pattern that was anticipated on the daily time frame. We had our higher low established, and we were looking at the odds of seeing a bull move and a break of the recent high to see a higher low and a higher high, compared to the odds of seeing a higher low and then a lower high and a tightening range. And it was more likely to see a lower high and an equilibrium pattern play out. Number one, volume wasn't there to back up the bull move. And number two, the amount of bull move that we would have to have seen to go from that level of 35.10 up to break resistance of 41.30. That's a very significant move that unlikely to happen without news to back that up. So we had our bullish reversal candlestick. We hit the top. The top of that bounce was 38.19. And our new level right now of support is 35.10. The potential bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern that was highlighted that is still in play is our left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and right now we have supports of 36.30 and 36.10. If we break that 30, it's actually 35.10. If we break that 35.10 level, then we have a lack of support in this area. And as I highlighted in the other video, when we don't have a lot of support or resistance established, it's much easier for the bulls or the bears to move through a certain price range. So it's a key support at 36.30 right now, and if that breaks, we're looking right back down to 35.10. So where we currently stand, I'm not very confident in the bulls, which is why I'm staying mostly cash and being very patient. We had some decent short-term bounces, again, very small short-term moves, and just being very cautious and not trying to force any trades here, waiting for this pattern to play out a bit more, and I will either be comfortable with a break to a higher high over 38.19 that will negate the potential bearish reversal pattern. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for that to happen, and if that does happen, I will be looking for a 4-hour oversold bounce if we do see a breakdown below 35.10 support. Noticing some differences in the big three here, where you can see Ethereum had a much stronger bounce. So let's cinch up these lines here where we have our higher low being established at 252.55 and now our lower high, and that is at 294.89. But you can see we did get fairly close. We are still forming an equilibrium pattern, but certainly much closer than the Bitcoin bulls got. So this doji, indecision doji, does favor the bears after a 2-day bounce, and we'll be looking for a potential pullback. The daily MACD already got a bullish cross, and the 4-hour time frame is not nearly as clear of a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern that we have on Bitcoin. So here would be the left shoulder, the head, and you can see the right shoulder is already almost up there at the head level. So it's a lot less likely, a lot less clear of a pattern, and it would take a lot more significant of a breakdown to get to that key support than it would for Bitcoin. So support right now is 276.23. If that level breaks, we are looking back down in the 254 and 252 range, but we would see Bitcoin break first, in my opinion, and confirm its bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern before we break support down here on Ethereum. So it would be a bit of a heads up. But it's the same story. I'm being very cautious and not forcing any trades here because, as we know, with the correlation to Bitcoin, we will likely see negative correlation. If we do see the bears take over on Bitcoin, we're not going to see Ethereum bulls do much. So here on the hourly time frame, we can see fairly tight candlesticks recently, not a ton of range. The biggest range on these candlesticks is about $6, so not a ton of trading opportunity. But the bulls do have a clear little higher low pattern here to be watching, with key support of 280.53 as the highest support on the hourly time frame. Litecoin on the daily time frame also seeing a very weak bounce. This is a bear flag on the daily time frame still in play. If we break $45 even, that will confirm the bear flag and see a pullback. You see the declining bull volume on this bounce attempt, and we topped out here at 50.33 from that low of 45 even. So that was a solid bounce. That's a 10% bounce in just 2 days, but obviously we're not seeing much follow through, and we now have an inside bar forming. And looking on the 4-hour time frame, we don't have a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern setting up because we already broke to a lower low here. that neckline, rather than being a higher low on the other two, is already a lower low. So right now, the key support in the short term is 47.06, and then we're looking down at 45 even after that. In a tight channel, same thing here. These are 4-hour candlesticks, and these 4-hour candlesticks have less than $1 range. So that's very limited trading opportunity on Litecoin. We look at the hourly time frame, and it's even less trading opportunity here. We had an hour just recently where the 17 cents range. So you're not going to get much trading at all on a 17 range hourly candlestick. So same thing, same story. Again, I'm being very patient on these big three. I don't trust the Bitcoin setup. I'm not comfortable with the bulls in that setup. If Ethereum was by itself and we didn't have these correlations to be looking at, I would be much more comfortable in bullish positions in Ethereum than I would in Bitcoin. But as we know, with that correlation, hard to be confident in the Ethereum setup if Bitcoin is going to be showing weakness. So heading into tomorrow, going to be mostly cash at this point, or all cash at this point, and just waiting to see if we're going to get this breakdown and 4-hour oversold bounce, or if the bulls are going to be able to see some volume show up and continue pushing to higher lows and higher highs to negate that bearish reversal 4-hour candlestick, or I should say 4-hour pattern that is still setting up. So we'll be back tomorrow with a fresh, crisp sounding voice and have that mic back. I appreciate everybody watching and hope you have a good rest of your Sunday night.